What happens when a legendary director teams up with one of the biggest movie stars on the planet, combines that with a complex story of revolution, betrayal, and redemption, plus a jaw-dropping $140 million budget? You get one battle after another. Paul Thomas Anderson's most ambitious film yet. Stick with me until the end, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just about a film, it's about cinematic history being made right before our eyes. This one's got everything: secret inspirations, behind-the-scenes drama, iconic cast members, and an IMAX release that could change the course of filmmaking. Let's start with the director himself, Paul Thomas Anderson. If you've been following cinema for the past few decades, you know the name. The visionary behind films like There Will Be Blood, Licorice Pizza, and Boogie Nights. Anderson has a style that's hard to match. He's known for creating films that don't just entertain, but challenge you, make you think, and sometimes even make you feel uncomfortable. His work is raw, deeply personal, and meticulously crafted. So, when Anderson takes on a project, you know it's going to be something worth talking about. This time, Anderson is doing it all. He's writing, directing, producing, and even co-handling the cinematography. You can tell that this film is more than just a job for him, it's a passion project. Anderson has always been a director who gets deeply involved in every aspect of his films, and with one battle after another, he's pushing the boundaries like never before. Now, let's talk about that dream cast. You've got Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Teyana Taylor, Chase Infinity. This is an ensemble you don't see every day. DiCaprio plays Bob Ferguson, a former revolutionary who's been pulled out of retirement after an old enemy resurfaces. His mission? Rescue a fellow revolutionary's daughter who's caught in the crossfire. Sounds like a simple rescue mission, right? But in a Paul Thomas Anderson film, nothing is ever as it seems. The movie is reportedly loosely inspired by Thomas Pynchon's 1990 novel Vineland. If you've read Pynchon, you know he doesn't write your average beach book. He writes chaotic, surreal, tangled up worlds. Anderson adapted Pynchon once before with Inherent Vice, so this connection adds a whole new layer. The original working title? The Battle of Bacton Cross. It's an epic title that sounds like a sprawling war film, but as the project evolved, the title shifted to One Battle After Another. It's a more personal, raw title, one that hints at internal battles as much as external ones. Revolution isn't just about fighting an enemy, it's about confronting your own past, your own choices, and your own demons. It's clear that Anderson wants to dig deep into what it means to fight for something bigger than yourself. Speaking of the production, this film has been shot in some really unique locations. Principal photography began in California in January 2024, with filming taking place in places like Arcata, Eureka, and Trinidad. These aren't your usual Hollywood backlots, they're gritty, atmospheric locations that give the film a sense of realness. But things got a little controversial when a homeless encampment in Sacramento was cleared to make way for filming. That sparked some debate, but it's also an example of Anderson's willingness to confront uncomfortable realities head-on. Later on, filming moved to Sacramento's county administration, building and courthouse, and even El Paso, Texas, in June 2024, further expanding the scope of the film. What really stands out, though, is the film's technical execution. It was shot on 35mm film using VistaVision cameras, a throwback to classic filmmaking techniques that add a layer of depth and texture to the visuals. Cinematographer Michael Bauman, who worked with Anderson on Licorice Pizza, is behind the lens once again, ensuring that every shot is as visually stunning as it is emotionally powerful. There's something almost timeless about shooting on film, and with this film, that choice is bound to make it feel even more immersive. Now, we have to talk about the budget. One Battle After Another had a production budget reported to be around $140 million. That's a massive number, especially when you consider that Anderson's highest-grossing film, There Will Be Blood, made just $76 million. But the studio, Warner Bros., is betting big on this film, and for good reason. DiCaprio's box office track record is near untouchable, and with a cast like this, expectations are sky high. DiCaprio himself reportedly earned $20 million for his role in the film, which is no small chunk of change. That's a big investment, but Warner Brothers is confident that the combination of Anderson's talent and DiCaprio's star power can turn that investment into a serious return. The release date for the film has shifted a couple of times. Originally, it was slated for an August 2025 release, but that was moved to September 26, 2025. The reasoning? Well, they're aiming for a potential awards season run, which makes sense considering the caliber of talent involved. The film has all the ingredients for an awards contender and acclaimed director. A star-studded cast, a high-concept story, and a serious budget. It's a film that could stand out in a crowded year of releases. But there's something even more interesting about this project. For the first time since Boogie Nights, Anderson agreed to test screenings. If you know Anderson, you know that he's rarely been one to seek feedback from audiences during production. But for One Battle After Another, he did just that. Based on the audience reactions, Anderson reportedly cut 8 to 10 minutes from the film to tighten the pacing. That's not something you see often in Hollywood, but it shows that Anderson is truly invested in making the best version of this film possible. Unfortunately, the film is also marked by a bittersweet note. This is the final collaboration between Anderson and his longtime assistant director and producer, Adam Somner, who tragically passed away in November 2024. Somner was a key figure in the production of many of Anderson's films, and his passing makes this project even more poignant. It's clear that this film will be a tribute to his work and dedication to the craft. Of course, no discussion about this film would be complete without mentioning the score. Once again, Jonny Greenwood, Anderson's longtime collaborator, has created the music for One Battle After Another. If you've heard Greenwood's work on There Will Be Blood or Phantom Thread, you know what to expect: a haunting, atmospheric score that elevates the film to another level. This partnership between director and composer has always been one of the most dynamic in cinema, and it's no different this time. So, what exactly is One Battle After Another? It's a reunion of old comrades, a rescue mission that turns into something much bigger, a meditation on revolution and redemption. It's a film that blends action with emotional depth, chaos with clarity. It could very well be Anderson's next masterpiece, or it could be Hollywood's next expensive gamble. The risk is high, but the reward could be even higher. One thing's for sure, you won't want to miss this one when it hits theaters on September 26, 2025 in IMAX. If you're as excited as I am about One Battle After Another, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the latest news on this highly anticipated film. Drop a comment below. What do you think? Will DiCaprio's star power be enough to carry this film to success? Or do you think Anderson is taking the bigger risk? Let's talk about it. Stay tuned. The revolution is just beginning.